Member for Oakville Gordon Head.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I must say I am deeply troubled and deeply disturbed by the precedent set today in this legislature at a time when it is quite clear from the standing orders as to the rules and regulations with respect to reading at third reading. We have been following very clearly the rules as demonstrated in the standing orders. I rise to speak at third reading against this same bill. My colleague from Cowichan Valley didn't have the opportunity to bring forward this important information that has been brought to light during the debates, important information that is required by members of this chamber in order to make their decision, important information that reflects on the very nature of the bill debating before us, the natural gas tax credit, the changes in the calculations that are being put forward. And it is only through a complete understanding of the complexities of the nuances in this bill in the context of the global picture that we are able to make an informed decision in this House. And to have my colleague, to have her shut down in debate because of an interpretation that I believe is flawed is simply outrageous, Honourable Speaker, and I do apologize for my comments here, but never before have I sitting here for 6 years in this chamber seen what I believe to see an interference of a member's right to enter a debate on an issue subject to the standing orders that we have had guide this place for generations. So I continue, Honourable Speaker, as to provide the information, the important information, and I see the House Leader for the government there talking to the Speaker, and I would suggest, Honourable Speaker, that is out of order as well in this moment here. So I continue, Honourable Speaker.
Member, the Chair would welcome any comments relevant to Bill 10. So nobody is stopping anybody making those comments. So I would urge the member to limit those comments just to the bill. Please, carry on.
So these comments are to Bill 10, Honourable Speaker. Bill 10, as has been articulated here, introduces three things. One, it tries to repeal the LNG Income Tax Act. Honourable Speaker, I would like to publicly note that right now the House Leader of the government is providing advice to the Speaker in the chair, and in my view, Honourable Speaker, that is outrageous. That is not something that should be happening. This is a non-partisan position, and to see and witness the Speaker getting advice being provided is surprising. On to Bill 10.
Member, please take your seat. The Chair will again urge all members who wish to speak on this bill in third reading, keep your comments relevant to the bill. That's all we are asking for. Member wish to continue? Please proceed.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I do wish to continue, and I do apologise for challenging the decision there. But as I said, it's troubling, and I will continue on focusing solely on the bill. The number of points raised in the bill, as I pointed out, there's 3 points in there. The first, of course, is the repealing of the LNG Income Tax Act. The second is the repealing of the Petronas Agreement, the LNG Project Development Agreement, which we now know through the rather interesting amendment put forward by the opposition has passed. So we now know that the Liquefied Natural Gas Project Development Agreement will not be repealed as part of this. And we enjoyed watching that deliberations, and we interested to see how that moved forward. We also know that the BC NDP in this bill are trying to retain the giveaway, the natural tax credit giveaway that is embedded in the original LNG Income Tax Act. So we have three aspects of this bill. We have articulated in the second reading time and time again, and I see in the gallery a young group of children, and I welcome them to this place, and I would suggest to them, as we continue to explore this bill and the ramifications of this bill, that members in this House actually think about their future. Members in the House actually recognize that this generational sellout embodied in this giveaway is not doing their future any good. And frankly, it is a betrayal of their future. As my colleague from Cowichan Valley tried to articulate, there have been a numerous number of articles appear that have highlighted the reason why this bill and the actual elements in it are inconsistent with the government's goal to try to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It is inconsistent to give away a tax credit to this industry, this industry that would not otherwise be here in British Columbia, in a desperate attempt to try to deliver what Christy Clark couldn't. That's it. That's the only rationale I can see behind this moving forward. And I would hope, as my colleague from Saanich North and the Islands, who will speak after me, brings forward information on the bill, I would hope that members opposite, members in the BC Liberal, who have been saying for so long that they do not believe that this giveaway is actually fiscally responsible. The member from Langley East, quite clear in that regard. The member from Abbotsford, not only was the member from Abbotsford West clear, his deconstructing of the job narrative that was supposed to be here was compelling. This government did not provide any information to back its claims that this agreement embodied in this bill would actually hire British Columbians. In fact, just today I received an email, Honourable Speaker, an email from a contractor up in the north who validated the concerns I raised about Boscalis hiring temporary foreign workers. Today I received that email. We are going to vote on a bill, Honourable Speaker, a bill at third reading, that information provided at the committee stage was either not provided in entirety or not delivered. We have yet to be given information. We were told in committee stage that we had to ask the Minister of Jobs, Training and Technology. We had to ask the Minister of Jobs, Training and Technology questions before we get answers to the issues of how this would affect jobs. Those questions were delivered to the Finance Minister in committee stage. Yet we did not get answers to those questions, Honourable Speaker. How is it possible? How is it possible that we could actually vote in favour of a bill where answers were not forthcoming to fundamental questions raised by members of opposition and by members in the Green Party at third reading, at committee stage? It seems to me that if ever there was a reason to actually not continue forward and vote with this, if ever there was a reason to actually send this bill to committee for further deliberation and debate, that information would be the fact we didn't get answers. And it's for that reason that I move that the motion for third reading of Bill 10, intituled Income Tax Amendment Act 2019, be amended by deleting all the words after that and substituting the following. Bill number 10 not be read a third time now, but the subject matter be referred to the Select Standing Committee on Finance and Government Services.
Is there a signed copy, sir?
Continue, member.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The rationale for proposing that this bill be sent to committee, as put forward to you a few seconds ago, is that the information we were trying to seek at committee stage was not forthcoming. The information about jobs, the information about where the $23 billion was going to come from, the fiscal breakdown was not forthcoming. Information on contractors, who was going to be contracted, not forthcoming. Information on emissions and whether this initial final investment decision is actually a pathway to a four-train system, not coming. It is only through the exploration of this matter further at committee stage. It is only by bringing in expert testimony, the expert testimony from people like Catherine Hayhoe, who my colleague from South Cowichan Valley tried to bring forward here, tried to actually bring that information to this chamber to allow members to actually inform themselves prior to a vote. The only means and ways that members truly will be able to actually recognize the scale of climate change, the scale of what is before us here with this bill in terms of the generational sellout of those young children and their friends up in the gallery. It is only through exploring this at committee stage that we will actually be able to get to the bottom of whether or not this truly is in the best interest of British Columbians. We know, Honourable Speaker, that members of government's caucus have not even been briefed on the details of this bill, and we have, as 3 Green MLAs, had to brief them on the details of this bill. It is sad that we have in this chamber so many MLAs who have not spent the time to actually go and get the information on what we're debating before us. And that is why a legislative committee, exploring this issue, bringing forward recommendations, deliberations on what is supposed to be a big project for BC, but is in reality the single biggest point source of emissions that this country has ever seen, at a time that this government's claiming it's championing climate change policy. This needs to go to committee. And I certainly hope members in the government will join us in supporting this. For democracy is about seeking input. It's about making decisions based on evidence. It's about going to the communities across British Columbia, whether it be the farmers in the Peace who came to us, who came to our caucus to brief us on the profound issues they have with the way the fracking is happening on their farmland, that they are considered second-class citizens. The fact that the committee would be able to explore the views of the youth of today, the views of the youth of today who today and across this country are getting ready for Friday. Another day of walkout in schools. Another day of walkout as youth point to the political leaders and saying, you are ignoring us. You're not going to have to live the consequences of the decisions you are making, yet we are, and you are not including us. You are not thinking about our future in your decisions. You are thinking about your re-election. You are thinking about what it takes to score a tick box in a I did what Christy Clark couldn't. And you're doing what you think is actually the best thing that you can do based on focus groups, polling, testing, etc. Not doing what's right, not doing what's principle. And it is sad, and the saddest moment for me, again, coming back to why this should be sent to committee, is I look to what was raised when I was interviewed by CFAX this morning. I was challenged by Al Faraby, and I enjoy being challenged. I was challenged by Al Faraby, who said, what's this about you not wishing to participate in a vote? And we talked about that. And he said, what's this about the member from Abbotsford West with this phrase? And, well, I could talk about this later, but the point I'm trying to make is I'm hoping that for the first time in the 6 years I've been here, members in government, backbench, will reflect upon these words, reflect upon those children in the gallery as they stand up at third reading and determine the future of this bill. The future of this bill, which my colleagues numerous times over the last few days have pointed out betrays our climate commitments, betrays future generations, provides false promises to the people in northwestern BC who are already seeing the temporary foreign workers coming in. And we know that the only way to actually get to the bottom of these very important questions is through committee, because we did not get the answers at committee stage. We need to send this to a standing committee. Again, wouldn't it be a joyous occasion if members opposite, who have criticized this deal for being fiscally irresponsible, we agree with them. We agree with them, it's fiscally irresponsible. If they then joined us in voting to send this to committee, to allow the committee to actually explore the level of fiscal irresponsibility embodied in this bill, to challenge the claims, give it the chance to explore with the Minister of Jobs, Training and Technology what the real job deals are. Have there been secret sweet deals signed with certain people about bringing in temporary foreign workers? And with that, Honourable Speaker, I'll take my place and certainly hope that others will join me in supporting this amendment.